news, perhaps good news. No more soup on paintings, no more roadblocks, no more annoying stunts. Yes, Just Stop Oil has announced it's ending its headline-grabbing protests, but they will have a final march set for April the 26th.
Well, the group claims victory in its fight against new oil and gas projects, but says it's planning a new strategy for future activism. OK, well, joining us is a spokesperson for Just Stop Oil, Dr Bing Jones. Dr Bing, thank you very much. So what's this all about, then? I must say, we've been a little bit sceptical this afternoon that suddenly Just Stop Oil are going to dramatically change their tactics.
Yeah, well, hi there. Thanks for letting me talk to your listeners again. Try to get over a bit of the truth rather than, like your last person was talking about, dodging the question. It's mostly dodging the question of the climate. But look, Just Stop Oil is a lot of people. We're ordinary people. I'm an old man. I'm a grandpa. I'm a doctor.
You're not ordinary, though, are you, Dr Bing?
I'm just very frightened about the fact that we're not dealing with the truth, and we're not going to go away. And we've had a lot of success. I mean, you guys like to slag us off all the time. But I've been on your programme, I think, 3 times in the last week. So we have a lot of success.
Oh, have you?
We've got 90% name recognition. We've kept 4.4 billion barrels of oil in the ground. We've, since we started, it's our main aim, which was to stop new oil and gas, is now government policy.
So you've won then, Dr Bing. Everything's fine and rosy. But I do want to ask you this one question. We're looking here at some of the stunts that have been performed, not just in the last few years that you've been around, but in the last 8 months, since the 4th of July, since the new government got in. Now, when the new government got in, their policy from day one was no new oil and gas exploration in the North Sea. Their policy from day one was concrete up shale gas wells onshore in the United Kingdom too. Why then did you continue to desecrate the grave of Charles Darwin, to throw paint over buildings and paintings? Why did you continue to do this over the last 8 months when the government has not changed position?
This is nonsense. Basically, we've not desecrated any graves at all. We've splashed a little bit of paint about.
Oh, come on. I wouldn't like it if someone did that to my grave or a relative.
Look, come on. We're looking here. Please, you guys, we're looking at the biggest crisis that humanity has ever faced.
I'm not taking lectures from Phoebe Plummer. OK, I'm sorry. If you expect me to, Dr Bing Jones, then, you know, I've got something to sell you. That is not... No one's going to be taking lectures from a silly little girl, in my view.
Well, you can slag people off.
No, it's not about slagging people off.
I'm not going to call you a silly little girl.
You can if you like.
Because you're in a position of responsibility. You have the responsibility to tell the truth to your listeners. Yeah. And the fact is that the government is failing. We've changed our demand from the success, which was no new oil and gas in the UK, to the need for an international treaty to stop all oil.
Let's stay on the facts here, because I really do appreciate that you want to stay in a fact-based conversation, and I really appreciate that. Yeah. So why then, in the very month that 2 of your most prominent activists were put away in prison for the next few years, why is this the month that you choose to change tactics? You claim that it's because you've won a policy victory. The government hasn't changed policy. The policy's been the same over the last 8 months. Yeah. I put it to you that you've changed tactics because your biggest agitators are now behind bars.
No, that's not the case. As I say, we're a group of people. And you could actually lock us all up and a load more people would appear again. The fact is that the real problem...
But you claim the government has changed policy. It hasn't.
Look, the big problem is the fact that we live in a society that's run by billionaires for billionaires. This TV programme here loses £100 million. And I'm sure many of your listeners would love to have a little bit of a dib of that, but your billionaire backers want you to tell propaganda, and the propaganda is that everything's OK.
Bing, maybe some people just disagree with you.
I'm here to tell you everything's not OK.
Maybe some
and your
people
listeners
just disagree
know
with you.
it. They know that things are not OK. And
I think the people who watch and listen to this programme will have heard a direct question about what has changed in government policy, and they'll have heard you obfuscate, talk about billionaires, talk about how other people would, of course, go out and protest. The one thing that has changed in relation to your organisation this month, the month you decide to change your tactics, is that a number of your activists are now in prison. I mean, surely the lesson from this isn't that you've changed government policy, because you haven't. Policy's been the same for 8 months. What has changed is that you guys have been locked up. That's a lesson for all of us.
The fact is that people are in prison. That's a sign that the government and the media, particularly you guys in the media, are anxious. You're frightened. You don't want to hear the truth. And the truth is that our government is failing, massively failing. Emissions are continuing to rise throughout the world, and that has dire consequences for your children. I don't know why you guys aren't more upset, because your children are going to pay a terrific price. Every scientist in the world who's not paid by the fossil fuel industry agrees. We're in deep trouble, and you guys are continuously trying to avoid the issue. So don't worry, because Just Stop Oil will be back. We'll be back in a different guise.
Well, you're a member of other groups, aren't you, Bing? You're a member You're a member of all of these types of groups, aren't you? Extinction Rebellion,
I've
probably Animal Rebellion, any of the others?
Look, I'm desperate. Please, you two, can you just understand? I'm an old man. I've got 4 children and 6 grandchildren. I'm frightened for them. And your listeners are frightened as well.
So it's strange that you've changed your tactics, because you were just as passionate a month ago and willing to go and spray paint everything, and now you're not. Dr. Bing, thanks for coming on. We will have you back and continue this conversation, I'm sure, when next Just Stop Oil pops up in whatever form it does. Dr. Bing Jones there.
And if you're in search of some spring sun, here's the forecast for the top European holiday destinations.